Hey guys, so I am finally on my camera, my video camera. Let's see, hold on. Just gonna try to make this a little bit better. Lighting, sorry, it's terrible. I'm in my bedroom. I don't know what's better. Okay, so we'll do this. Apparently, my phone, the 16 gigs on my phone, really need to be gone through because I have an extra memory card and it's already filled up. So either I have to get a bigger memory card for all this stuff, or I have to take a bunch of stuff off. So we'll see what has to be done. It's also falling out of the phone. I'm also losing battery power. I don't know what to do. I think I need a new phone, but I don't get a new phone until March, so I'll have to do that. Anyway, so day 2 of my year and a day, and yes, I'm doing it on the second day. I want to be very good at this. I still can't find my book, so don't mind the binder. I have a bunch of the different days typed out, and I just remembered that I did, so that kind of helps, but I would like to find my book because I literally saw it while I was cleaning my room, and then now I can't find it for the life of me. So I don't know where I put it. So day 2 is those upsetting words. They cause discomfort and embarrassment. They're difficult to explain to your friends and family. They can be downright hard to accept. No, I'm not talking about planter's warts. It's all those darn witchy words. Wiccan is a practice filled with terms that can enchant, amuse, and even bewilder. Ironically, Wicca is not ultimately about words. Wiccan practices aim to take the practitioner far beyond the limiting words of language and terminology. The words of the craft are meant to transport the practitioner into the heart of life itself, where words are ultimately limitations and qualifiers. More specifically, they can guide practitioners toward a direct, mystical experience of deity, nature, and the individual spirit. Words obliterate and become meaningless when the practitioner achieves this experiential state of understanding. Wiccans therefore first come to accept that words are only valuable as signposts and guides that point toward mystic experience. To Wiccans, a word is not really itself. For example, the word apple is not itself an apple. You can hear the word and understand it intellectually. However, in order to know an apple, you must hold it in your hands, smell it, and take a big juicy bite. Likewise, the word God is not deity itself. It is only a mental abstraction, a convenient symbol that we can all use to refer to something that goes beyond the word. As you walk the Wiccan path, you will eventually have your own experiences of direct mystical contact with the divine. But before that happens, it is understandable and natural that you might struggle with the language of Wicca, which often flies in the face of convention and social norm. As a practice today, take a look at the list of words that follow: Wicca, witchcraft, power, ritual, magic, occult, pagan, spell, and earth religion. Regarding each of these words, explore the following questions. What is my comfort level in using each word? How do I understand each word? How do I imagine that each word impacts other people who are not involved with Wicca? Take time to comment your feelings, whatever they may be, about each word to paper. You will use today's writing in tomorrow's exercise, so when you are finished, set the paper aside. After you have explored your own understanding and reaction to each word, take a look at how Wiccans generally define them. Now, I have written them down. I have put them in my book, so I will go over those precisely tomorrow on day 3. But for now, I will read you each of the ones that they have to find in the book. Wicca. Wicca is both a religion of nature and magical practice. It is a spiritual tradition centered in the earth-based mystic practices of the people of old Europe. Wicca is shamanic spiritual path. The word shaman is an anthropological one that refers to a type of indigenous natural magic practitioner. A shaman is a person, usually in a tribal culture, who is a healer and interpreter of the unseen world, which shamans refer to as the world of spirits. She or he conducts rites of passage, divines the future, and walks the path of magic. Although Wicca is not a path that can claim to be... excuse me, sorry. Without my glasses, I tend to mix words and stuff like that. Let's try that again. She or he conducts rites of passage, divines the future, and walks the path of magic. Although Wicca is not a path that can claim an unbroken lineage to the ancient past, many of the contemporary practices of Wicca are adapted from traditional shamanic practices that link us back to our tribal ancestry. Wiccans understand that natural world, the sun, the moon, the seasons, male and female bodies, and the earth itself as expressions of sacredness. Learning to live in conscious connection with all of nature, including human nature, within each moment helps Wiccans forge a deep bond with the divine. Contemporary linguists describe the origins of the word Wicca. Some say that it originated from the Indo-European root week, which is a term that links the concepts of religion and magic. Other linguists assert that the word is of Middle English origin, derived from the Anglo-Saxon word wick, which means to bend or shape. An alternative meaning for the root word is wise. From this root, it is believed that the word Wicca means both the craft of the wise and the craft of bending and shaping. Both meanings are applicable to contemporary Wiccans. Their simple spiritual practices, such as meditation and mindfulness in daily activity, help them acquire mental, emotional, and spiritual flexibility. Wiccans practice bending and shaping their consciousness so that they live in accord with each moment in life. Wicca is not an ancient religion. It has practices that contemporary practitioners have derived from and interpreted from the ancient past, but it is a religion of recent development. The contemporary craft traces much of its known lineage to approximately the 1950s in England. Gerald Gardner, a retired civil servant, is generally cited among witchcraft historians and many practitioners as the founder of contemporary Wicca. Gardner claimed to have been initiated by a woman named Dorothy Clutterbuck into what he called the old religion in the New Forest area in 1939. He further claimed that the coven into which he was initiated was one of S cluster founded some 40 years earlier by a man named George Pickinell. According to Gardner, Pickinell asserted that his lineage was founded on a succession of initiations that stretched back some 8 centuries. Some witchcraft history enthusiasts believe that Gardner pieced together his version of Wicca from elements of obscure occult literature and contributions from Aleister Crowley, a famous early 20th century occultist, a contemporary of Gardner and a founder of the Golden Dawn. Whether or not Gardner's assertions or his claims of lineage are factual, we do not know for certain. However, he was the first of a succession of individuals to step forward and publish what was then considered authentic witchcraft material. Pardon me for a second. I'm going to have to take a sip. The rest of these are not so long, so let's hope I can get through them pretty quickly. Witchcraft. Throughout the Middle Ages, and particularly during the Renaissance period, the word witchcraft was liberally applied by the Christian Church and its authorities to the native religious practices and customs that existed for thousands of years before Christianity. Many people with indigenous European spiritual roots met their fates on the gallows or in the fire simply because of their religious expression. Aside from practitioners of native spiritual beliefs, there were other groups of people that the church targeted, tortured, and burned for the crime of witchcraft. One might be accused of witchcraft simply because of bad dreams, or because one was left-handed, or had bodily imperfections believed to be devil's marks. Jews, gypsies, homosexuals, unwed women, midwives, herbal healers, social outcasts, people who were too rich or too poor, the disabled, and the infirm were also convicted for the crime of witchcraft. Some scholars claim that over 250,000 people were put to death for the crime of witchcraft during the burning times in Europe, while others say the number reached as high as 9 million. The contemporary spiritual practice of witchcraft is based on many of the old customs and folk wisdom from old Europe. Because of this, practitioners have reclaimed the word witch. Contemporary practitioners view the word as one of power, and they reclaim it in an effort to be mindful of the cost of religious intolerance, to release negative associations, and to forge a new future. Sorry if I trip over words, guys. My brain reads faster than my mouth, and then my mouth tries to make up the words that my brain are going for, so I can read a book about this size in less than an hour, silently. But if you give me something to read, I tend to be a little bit slower and trip over many, many words. So, the next is power. For Wiccans, power has little to do with control over people and things. Power is a natural state of being that comes from uniting with the vast flow of nature and operating from an experience of accord with that flow. In the Wiccan view, power is shared, subtle energy that flows through all things. Ritual. Ritual is an enactment of a myth. It is, in this definition, the word myth refers to a system of spiritual symbols. Rituals in Wicca usually involve symbolic words, sounds, colors, and gestures. Wiccans understand that each element of a ritual speaks the language of the deep mind, the unconscious mind, and thus awakens the movement of psychological and spiritual energy. The symbols in Wiccan ritual emerge from both time-honored, shared mythological correspondence, for example, traditional associations that orient the practitioner to time, place, color, sound, and movement, and personal associations that can emerge from dreams, meditations, and personal insights. Magic. Magic is a term that sometimes causes confusion and fear. Many people recall scenes from movies, television shows, of fairy tales when they first think of magic. In the popular imagination, magic is about getting things that you want through forbidden, dark, or dangerous forces. Wiccans understand magic as a natural process. It is the ability to change one's consciousness, one's frame of mind. It is the ability to arrive at substantial realizations and broadening insights that change one's relationships as a human being to the world. Out of one's change of consciousness comes change in the world. The process of magic reveals our internal patterns that can help us live in close contact with our full human power. The methods of magic are simple. Lighting candles, chanting, or focusing one's intentions with drumming or dancing are all methods that Wiccans use to create magic and change. Occult. The word occult derived from the Latin occultus, Octusenum literally means secret. Few Wiccans today use this word when referring to their contemporary magical or spiritual practices. However, the word refers to hidden teachings that are available to adepts of any magical or metaphysical path. Again, I stumble over words because my brain reads faster than my mouth does, and then my mouth tries to read faster than my brain. It's really weird. Pagan. Pagan comes from the Latin paganus, a peasant or country dweller. Formerly, people used the word in reference to a non-Christian. The word then expanded over time to mean anyone who was not of the book, namely a person who was not a Christian, Jew, or Muslim. It gained negative connotations over time and came to mean someone who was an uncivilized idolater. In contemporary practice, a pagan is someone who follows a polytheistic, pantheistic spiritual system. Typically, a pagan is someone who believes that the universe, the earth, and all of its inhabitants contain divinity. Spell. A symbolic act through which anyone can channel non-physical energies to attain some particular goal. Earth religion, a pagan spiritual path that reveres the earth, the seasons, and all creatures. And that is it for the second day. Like I said, I'm not going to go through today, because that means that I have nothing to talk to you tomorrow about. I'm not going to go through today of what I think of these, although I can tell you one thing: I have never shied away from words. I spell them differently to differentiate terms from what I do to maybe what other people think. But normally I do not shy away from words. I've never shied away from words. My parents weren't exactly necessarily religious, so they never shunned the exploration of words and their meanings, and they always let me think for myself. They never made me think that what I was following was wrong. Even when I started coming out, I'm not fully out as a witch yet, to everybody, but I don't go, hey, I'm a witch, but I don't necessarily make it a secret. I haven't made it a secret, but I also haven't stated it. So a lot of these words I've gone through, I've had problems with having to differentiate. I watch, people try to stumble over it where, it's no big deal to me. So, anyway, that's it for day 2, and I will get it on. I'm glad that I finally got my one thing back upstairs for my camera, because it makes it so much easier for me to talk to you guys. I don't have to hurry through an entire huge spiel because I only have 3 minutes on my phone, which is happening early today. So anyway, I am enjoying this so far. I'm hoping you're enjoying it so far. I know these first few days, 2 days, I guess, couple of days, have been a lot of information, but it seems like, they go information and then, it's important. It's important to know what you're doing. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow with day 3. Anyway, blessedly and keep crafting, witches, and hopefully next Wednesday, not only will I have a day for you, but I will actually have time to create a Thrifty Wednesday for you. I know it doesn't really go, but everybody's catchphrases are taken, so we're doing our thrifty stuff on Wednesday. I was going to, so next Wednesday, what was I going to do with you guys? I had it all up in my head. I was going to make a charging box with you guys. So, most of that is done. I'm just going to film the last little bit and hopefully get everything onto my computer because it is being a pain and not transferring my phone from my phone to where I need it to go on my computer in order to piece all the pieces together so that you guys have a video, but hopefully that'll happen. So anyway, SB, keep crafting witches, and I will see you tomorrow.